Let me describe a couple to you, and tell me if this sounds familiar. They are both in their mid-30s. He's a senior project manager, and she's an account executive. Together, they make a very respectable $165,000 a year. By all normal rules, they should be comfortably on track to retire early and be financially free. Instead, they feel an invisible, suffocating pressure every single month. They aren't irresponsible people, but their Instagram feeds tell a story of perfect weekend trips, designer clothes, and beautiful dinners. They look incredibly successful to everyone who watches. Yet, behind the screen, something is deeply wrong with this picture. Most financial gurus will tell you that the problem here is just lifestyle creep, or wasting money on expensive $7 lattes. But here's what they're missing. The digital age has created a highly sophisticated trap that actively uses your online friends against your savings account. This hidden force completely changes how modern wealth is taken away from us, and once you see it, you can't unsee it. And I spend my time studying the invisible habits that keep high-earning professionals living paycheck to paycheck. If you want to understand how to build actual, quiet freedom instead of just showing off a surface-level illusion, subscribe and give this a like if it helps. For decades, we've been told that keeping up with the Joneses was about buying a bigger house on your actual physical street. It made perfect sense to want what your neighbors had, because human beings are naturally tribal creatures. It wasn't stupid to copy the lifestyle of the people around you. In fact, it was an ancient survival trick to fit in with your group. But there is a massive crack in this old way of thinking. Today, your neighbors aren't just the families next door who make a similar salary to yours. Your new neighbors are the top 0.1% of global influencers, trust fund creators, and highly edited digital characters streaming directly into your eyes for 6 hours a day. You are no longer comparing your daily life to your actual peers. Instead, you are comparing your life to a hyper-edited, commercial highlight reel. The system quietly changed how your brain works to make you treat luxury like a basic need, and it happened so slowly that you never even noticed the shift. You weren't dumb for trying to keep up with what you saw. The digital world was simply designed to make you feel like you weren't enough if you didn't buy in. To understand why this is destroying your retirement, we have to look at a mechanism I call the wealth mimicry tax. The wealth mimicry tax is the invisible, growing financial penalty paid by high earners who secretly spend money to look rich on the outside, at the direct expense of their actual savings account on the inside. Most people never see this tax because it doesn't show up as a single, giant purchase that ruins you overnight. Instead, it operates quietly in the background, disguised as normal modern living. It looks like the slightly more expensive monthly subscription, the trendy vacation spot everyone is posting about, or the high-end car lease. Everything we are about to break down in this video is driven by this single lens. You are paying a heavy, repeating tax just to look like the wealthy person you are actually preventing yourself from becoming. Think of your lifetime earning potential like a powerful freshwater spring filling up a giant water tank. True wealth is the depth of the water inside that tank. It is what gives you security, power, and real freedom. Paying the wealth mimicry tax is like drilling dozens of tiny, microscopic pinholes into the wall of that water tank, purely to create a series of beautiful, decorative fountains on the outside for strangers to admire. The fountains look spectacular. They give everyone the illusion that you have an endless supply of water. But underneath the surface, the core tank is quietly draining away, leaving you completely unprotected when the first long dry spell hits. Remember these pinholes. Every single time you change your life for how it looks to others rather than how it actually is, you drill another hole into your own financial dam. Let's look at the actual math of how these pinholes destroy wealth over time. Imagine two professionals, Sarah and David. Both are 35 years old, and they earn the exact same salary. David pays the wealth mimicry tax. He spends just $635 a month on things purely driven by showing off. This includes the upgraded package on his luxury SUV lease for an extra $240, trendy dinners out twice a month to stay visible in his social circle for $220, and a premium gym membership with matching workout clothes for $175. It doesn't feel like a lot of money to him. It is just $635 a month taken out of a very healthy paycheck. Sarah, on the other hand, consciously avoids the tax. She drives a reliable, normal sedan, eats wonderfully at home, and works out without needing a luxury brand logo on her wall. She takes that exact $635 every single month and puts it into a low-cost index fund that earns a standard 8% average return compounded every year. Let's watch the math grow over a 25-year timeline until they both reach age 60. After year 1, Sarah has saved $7,620. It is nice, but it is not life-changing yet. By year 10, Sarah's account has grown to $110,917. Meanwhile, David's SUV is long gone, traded in for another expensive lease. By year 25, when they both turned 60, Sarah's monthly $635 investment has grown into exactly $597,421. But here is the final, shocking contrast. David didn't just lose $597,421 in cash. Because he had to earn roughly $850,000 before taxes just to have that $635 a month in extra cash to spend, David actually wasted nearly $1 million of his life's hard work. He gave up all that labor just to maintain a temporary online illusion for people he barely even knows. Today, Sarah has over $500,000 of pure freedom sitting in an account. David just has a history of old Instagram posts. To see how this plays out in real life, let's look at a real-world story about a man named Mark. Mark is 42 years old and a successful corporate lawyer making $195,000 a year. He is smart, hardworking, and genuinely cares about his family's future. 5 years ago, Mark moved his family into a neighborhood where the other families made just a little bit more money than he did. Slowly and quietly, the wealth mimicry tax took hold of his life. When Mark's neighbors posted photos of their kids' private sports trips online, Mark felt a wave of guilt. He signed his daughter up too, which cost him $4,800 a season. When his co-workers started booking $8,000 summer vacations to beautiful beaches and posting perfect family portraits, Mark booked the exact same trip on a credit card. He told himself, "We work hard, and we deserve these memories." Every time Mark looked at his accounts, he thought he was doing perfectly fine. After all, his monthly bills were paid on time, he was saving the bare minimum for retirement, and his credit score was very high. He felt successful because his daily life matched the look of success. But here is where his story hits a wall. At age 47, Mark's company went through a major change. His work hours were cut, and his income dropped by 25%. Because his entire life was built on looking like a high earner, Mark had absolutely no extra cash saved up. His money was completely trapped in a huge house payment, expensive car loans, and repeating luxury bills. He couldn't just stop this lifestyle without feeling deep embarrassment in front of his friends. To keep up appearances on social media and in his neighborhood, Mark began quietly borrowing money against his own house to pay for their daily life. Today, at age 52, Mark's social media page looks like a perfect picture of luxury. But behind the scenes, he is facing a terrible reality. He has less than $90,000 total saved for retirement. The value in his home is completely gone, and he will be forced to work past his late 60s just to pay off the debt of a lifestyle he used to impress people who aren't even watching. Mark wasn't stupid. He just let the world around him decide how much he needed to spend. Why do smart, well-meaning people like Mark fall into this trap? It all comes down to a deep human habit known as relative deprivation. Our brains are not designed to measure our success all by ourselves. Instead, we measure our success based entirely on the people around us. When your world is artificially pumped up by a computer algorithm designed to show you only the most glamorous 1% of human life, your brain plays a trick on you. It starts to see your perfectly good, comfortable life as if you are missing out on something important. This happens completely below your normal thoughts. When you buy a more expensive watch or book a room at a beautiful resort, you aren't actively thinking, "I want to show off to my friends." Your brain is actually telling you, "This is the normal level for people like me, and if I drop below it, I am failing." The problem here isn't a flaw in your character. You are not a bad or foolish person. It is simply a flaw in our modern world. Social media has turned showing off your status into a game. It has taken your natural human desire to fit in and feel accepted, and it turned it into a financial product that you have to keep buying over and over again just to feel normal. The conventional financial world tells you that wealth is something you display. They want you to believe that success is only real when you can show it off to the world. The surprising truth is that true wealth is, by definition, everything you do not see. Wealth is the expensive cars you chose not to buy. It is the designer clothes you passed on, the luxury vacations you swapped for simpler memories, and the money you left growing safely in the stock market. Let's look at the ultimate contrast. The person paying the wealth mimicry tax is trapped in a gold-plated cage. They are highly visible and highly envied by everyone online, but they are entirely dependent on their next paycheck just to keep the lights on. On the other hand, the person resisting the tax is completely invisible. They look unremarkable online, but they are quietly building an empire in the dark. They have the same income and put in the same hard work, but they get completely different outcomes. One has an audience, the other has complete and total freedom. If you want to stop paying the wealth mimicry tax and start building a fortress of quiet wealth, here are 3 simple actions you can take this week. First, calculate your aesthetic burn rate. Pull up your last 3 credit card statements. Look closely at every single expense that you bought, even just a little bit, because of how other people would see it. This includes the premium brands, the social events you didn't actually want to go to, and the fancy upgrades. Add all these numbers together and multiply that sum by 12. That final number is the exact annual fee you are paying just to maintain an illusion for others. Second, enforce the mute and audit rule. Go through your social media feeds today and ruthlessly mute or unfollow any account that makes you feel like your life isn't good enough. It does not matter if it is a famous influencer or someone you know in real life. If their posts make you want to spend money, turn them off. Replace them with accounts that focus on building assets, learning about market history, and cheering for quiet independence. Third, establish your freedom ratio. Before you buy any luxury item or extra treat that costs over $200, use a specific math trick. Take the price of the item and multiply it by 4.6. This shows you what that exact same money would be worth if you let it grow in the market for 20 years. Ask yourself a simple question. Is this item worth more than 4.5 times its price in pure, stress-free retirement freedom? If the answer is no, leave it on the shelf. The choices you make over the next hour on your phone will decide how much control you have over your life 10 years from now. Stop spending money to meet an audience's expectations and start funding your own independence.